All right, thank you very much, Pete. That was Hannafin's Antique. Very unique store down in Carson City. You should go check it out. Like they were talking about, a lot of that stuff is actually operating. But right now, we've got Chris in from CAL FIRE. Last time you were in, my friend, it was pre-New Year. So let's talk about after the New Year and what we can do in and around the basin to help support CAL FIRE.
Yeah, well, no, first, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, my friend. Good to see you.
I'd like to thank you so much, and also Lake Tahoe TV for all your guys' support for all these years. And so I thought this would be a great way to start the new year.
Nice.
Yeah, and so, last time we were here, we had the campfire going.
Like an hour into the campfire. Just such a tragic thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, and it's so easy to focus on, the death and the devastation, these large fires that we're having. But I really wanted to just focus on things that we're going to try to do in 2019 to make things better.
Cool. And what do we have on top? What should we do to support you?
Well, I think that one of the big things is we really need to be really bold in the way that we tackle this problem that we're seeing in California. Yeah. So big, large landscape level projects throughout the state to reduce fire hazard and bring more resilience into our forests, and then working with our communities on what's called pre-attack planning and evacuation planning. So I'm excited for 2019. I'm hoping that it'll be better than 2018, but we're working hard. We really want to make a difference.
You know what's interesting is I've had a few conversations with folks. So the work that you guys have done anywhere from Kiva Beach all the way around towards Sugar Pine Point, and even around our house off of North Upper Truckee in that area. And it was I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and he was like, look what they've done to the forest. And what I was seeing from my perspective was you really cleaned it up. Like, it was amazing to not see that filler fire, or that fuel,
right?
That ground fuel there, and you could see through it. It looked manicured. It looked good.
Yeah, well, that's how their forests actually looked before fire suppression. We have far too many trees out on the landscape right now, and those trees that are left behind, they're going to be healthy. They're more resilient to drought, fire, insect disease. So it's projects like that we just need to carry forward into 2019.
Yeah.
But we're really going to actually look at doing very large landscape level projects, more prescribed fire, and then just bringing in more personnel to do forest thinning projects like the one you mentioned.
Yeah, and you mentioned that, what it's supposed to look like. If you don't manage the forest, take a look at Angora Ridge. just look at Angora Ridge. That's when Mother Nature manages it, right? And that's just a huge scar. And even as you're going up around 89, that fire from a few years ago, that's what it looks like when Mother Nature takes charge. So it's great to see you guys taking on those big projects and working on the forest.
Yeah, and we all do it together. I mean, it's not just CAL FIRE, it's the Forest Service, it's Lake Valley Fire, South Lake Tahoe Fire. I mean, we're all in this together. And then we also work with agencies like TRPA, Water Quality. I mean, it is an all hands on deck effort.
Yeah, for sure. We've had we saw what happened in Paradise, Camp Fire, Southern California. So where would you guys start these projects at?
Well, so we actually start right around the communities, where we have people and property that could be threatened by wildfire. And then from there, we just kind of work our way out into the general forest area, those mid and upper watersheds. Yeah. And so, for instance, on the west shore of Lake Tahoe, there's a fairly large project that's being planned, essentially from Emerald Bay all the way up into Tahoe City. So, that's the area that we really need to look at, is those really larger landscapes, and then kind of duplicate that around the entire Lake Tahoe basin. But not only specific to Tahoe, on all of our forest lands around the state.
Yeah, up in north, Lassen and all that area, and then down in Southern California as well. I mean, these fires get away so fast too. There's, they start, it's 100 acres, and then the wind kicks up, Mother Nature takes control with all that fuel. You've got a 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 acre fire moving pretty quick.
Absolutely, and we have a lot of people and property, right in the midst of that too. And so that's another thing we're really going to be working on, is working with communities on evacuation planning. And then internally, with all the responding agencies, we really have to look at how can we be more efficient and effective in what we do to get people out of the way, so that we can put those fires out.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I remember during the Angora fire, like how you guys ingressed and then egressed, and just the mixing of the community inside the fire traffic was super dangerous. One, and number one, that's dangerous. But number two, you're preventing you from being able to respond. So for our emergency responders to be able to get to the fire, because we're like, oh, we want to go look at it or gawk at it or whatever. So we need to steer clear of all that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I was down on the Woolsey fire. After we spoke, I went down to Southern California. Yep. And obviously one big difference between a place like Paradise and a place like Thousand Oaks or Malibu is just the road infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
People being able to actually get in and out of those communities. And I think that made a big difference down in Southern California is, people had the ability to get out. Again, that was a very fast-moving fire that impacted, hundreds of thousands of people. So that planning and getting out of the way early is so important.
Yeah, definitely paying attention to the evacuation orders and pre-planning. Actually, my wife actually is the one that got us out of Angora. She did all the smart planning. I was in denial that it was going to actually come over our house. But having that pre-plan, like know what you're going to grab, put all those documents in an essential place, and actually practice it. Give yourself some time to practice it. Like, how long is it going to take us to get into the car, get those essentials, and then get out of the area and be safe?
Yeah, absolutely. And don't wait for that call.
Yeah.
Right. If you feel threatened or you think there's a problem, go. You can always go back if there's no mandatory evacuation. Yeah. But being ready is so important.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we'll be right back after. Hey, Chris, by the way, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Remember, support CAL FIRE, support our local fire departments, and make sure that you pay attention when they're doing that fire suppression out there. Give them a hand. Definitely stay away from those zones. We'll be right back after these messages.